team. Smith alone again, and she calls game. Alana Smith says that'll do it.
Smart for back-to-back trip. She knocks that down again.
Finds her again, wants to push it down the floor. Wilson, big finish. Keep their finals hopes alive.
Hello and welcome to Hills Basketball Stadium in lovely Sydney, where the Sydney Uni Flames are taking on the Adelaide Lightning in this round 12 clash. There has been a venue change, but that hasn't deterred the Sydney faithful. Their Flames have had a tough season so far, but get a chance to end it on a high. Well, Adelaide, they need this win to go one step closer to cementing their top 4 spot and keep in touch with that top 2 as well. I'm Julia Montesano, joined alongside 3-time WNBL champion Alison Downey. And Alison, what are we in for tonight?
Well, I think we're in for an exciting match. As you said, Adelaide need that the win to sort of cement themselves into those final spot. Sydney looking for another win. They've been close. They've been nipping at the heels of some of those top teams. So tonight could be the night.
The focus is on Adelaide, as you mentioned, heading into this one. They had a 30-0 unanswered run against Bendigo and then only won that game by 7 points. I mean, what do they need to do tonight to perhaps end the game on a better note?
Yeah, well, I think sometimes when you're up by that much, you can become a little bit complacent. So, and that'd be something that they might have focused on in the last few days to get that right and play right to the end and put their foot down and keep going and finish strong.
Well, Sydney have this freedom as well with, obviously not being able to make finals, but it could potentially be a danger game for the Lightning. Do you think that as well?
Yeah, and that's the thing. When there's no pressure on a team to be playing, they can play well, they can play with freedom, and it can get a little bit tight for a team that wants to win and as we've said, needs to win to cement themselves because they're looking at that top 2. I think they really want top 2 finish.
They certainly do, and we're going to take a look at the team list to see how they're going to get there. But first, we'll look at Sydney's team list. They've got a lot of star power in their lineup tonight, of course, playing on the Hills Hornets home court, and it's a solid starting 5. Alison Downey.
Yeah, it is, and it's a starting 5 that would be in any team, and they'd be disappointed that they haven't been able to convert those close games into wins. So I think, again, a focus of Shane and their starting 5 to really knuckle down and try and get on top of these teams.
Absolutely, and the Adelaide lineup, well, they've got a lot of star power. We talk about all the classic names in their lineup, but Sydney Uni also have a good classic names too. But you look at their starting 5, I mean, 2 imports, 2 opals, and Taylor Ortlip rounding that out as well. Close to a championship in NBL 1 Central. I mean, a lot of star power there.
Yeah, absolutely, and we talk about that each week. The Stephanie Talbot, Alana Smith in there. Kylie Shook, she plays her role. She plays her role really well, has great height in there. Without Abby Wearing, there's a guard that they're missing, but as we've said before, they've got the depth in their bench that can fill any role.
So you see Chris Lucas talking to his troops right now. I mean, what's the message in a game like this, Alison, where, you're favoured to win, but as you saw on Thursday night, wins don't come easy in this league.
No, and, any team can win on any day. And the amount of games that they're playing, the fatigue can set in and it can be a real impacting factor. So we just don't know what will happen.
And Shane Heal's message to his Sydney Uni Flames, I mean, what is he saying to them right now as they put their hands in and get ready to go?
I think he'll have that message of there's nothing to lose here. So play well, play together, play your role. And I think the key for them will be to shut down your Talbots and your Alana Smith. You might not be able to stop them from scoring, but if you can negate their rebounds or, Steph gets great assists as well, if you can take away a few of those stats, I think that they'll be in good stead.
So the key for Adelaide tonight, obviously, to keep in touch with that top 2. It's definitely been a focus for them, as mentioned in their last game against Southside and obviously a bit against Bendigo as well. I mean, it's going to be a good test for them as well because I think there's a lot of reliance on Talbot and Smith, but it's potential tonight for a lot of different players and bench players to step up against a lower ranked team too and see what they've got in the tank.
Yeah, and I think Chris likes to do that. He'll play his players how they're playing. So if the starting 5's not getting it done, he's going to put his bench on. And this is a team where they've got to make the most of their opportunities, and they do, and they play well because they know their role and they play their role.
Rolling for the Flames there, obviously the key for the Sydney Uni team. Referees tonight, Carlia Hanks, Nathan Pappen, Bradley Mattioli suiting up, but there's a real potential for both teams here in a new stadium as well. We haven't had WNBL here. Sherry Kalia of the Flames. This is her home court as well, so it means a lot to these players to still get to play a game of basketball as well, considering all the other interruptions we've had this season. Adelaide approaching the floor now. It looks like they're in good spirits after that 7-point win against the Spirit on Thursday night. Sydney only one win for the season, looking to build on that and end their season on a high in front of their home fans. The tip goes to Shook to start things off. Williams ending off a great game as well. So too Talbot, double-double for her. Spins around Rowe. Gets the pass out to Ortliff. Can't get things rolling just yet. But they'll have another go at it, the Lightning.
Probably not the start that Sydney wanted. I think that if they can stop that first shot, grab a rebound and run, because they like their transition, that's what they need to do.
Smith. Williams pulls up for an early three. Can't get it to fall, and Purcell grabs her first rebound of the game. Came up with 16 against Melbourne. Here's Froling, back to Purcell. Guarded heavily by Smith, but she ends up driving all the way in. Just can't get it to finish. The right intent though from Kalani Purcell. Ortlip now. Gets it to Smith. And Purcell pulls down another board. So no score yet. Froling's with it now. Blocked by Smith, I think it was. Hands are everywhere, but I think the block will go to Alana Smith, and she's coming on transition. Off to Ortlip. Can't still get that start they want. Offensive rebound, Williams. No good. It's the second offensive board here for Adelaide. First 12 on the clock for them. Shook. Travel. So good pressure from the Flames. They breathe a big sigh of relief in that passage of play, Al.
Yeah, and look, it's the right idea there. Adelaide haven't been able to make an outside shot, so they were looking to go inside to Shook, but Sydney were onto that, so it's good defence there. It's a great start.
Hill bringing it up the floor now, coming off an Opal's debut. Froling provides the screen, and we'll get it back. Purcell with a long floater, and gets the scoring going. Purcell with the first Sydney Uni bucket tonight. Shook now with it against Froling. That'll be a great battle. Smith goes down. Nakasoglu comes up. She's got the ball in hand now. Goes all the way to the bucket. Can't get the finish though. Now Adelaide look to move it quickly. Talbot didn't want the three. Ortlip did. And why not? She knocks that one down.
I find when these two teams play, it's very up and down. There's not a lot, no fouls have been called. There's been only one out of bounds, I think. So quick game, quick transition game from both teams.
Nakasoglu into Froling. Nice dish. Nice finish. Keely Froling's on the board. We expect many more buckets to come from her. So too Smith and Talbot. They work in tandem in this passage of play. Smith from three. Can't get that one to fall, but you still can't leave Alana Smith alone because she will hit one of those shots down.
That's right, and she won't stop shooting it, and they know that's part of the offense, to kick it back and shoot it, so everyone's in good rebounding positions.
See a lovely quick release from Taylor Ortlip. Gets her night off to a good start. Heel. Instant response. Good to see Charlotte Heel on the board. And Sydney take an early 7-3 lead. Talbot with it. Ortlip didn't want the back-to-back. Gave it to Talbot. Couldn't get in on the action. Smith comes up with it. Williams crosses over Heel. Fantastic move from Kiana Williams.
Isn't that a nice crossover? It's almost like it didn't happen.
Heel didn't know where to go. Rolling with it, back to Heel. Pulls up for a long two. And gets her night off to the perfect start, 100% shooting for Shyla Heel. Sydney are up by 4. Shook ends up with it. Smith couldn't quite get the post move on Froling. Good D.
This is going to be an interesting matchup. I think Froling's going to be between Shook and Smith. You know, she's got a little bit of a slight disadvantage in height against Shook, but, you know, Alana Smith and Froling both like to get a little bit aggressive in defence and offence, so it'll be interesting to watch.
Speaking of aggression, here's Purcell, gives it off to Rowe, now Nakasoglu. Bullet pass comes to Purcell, just couldn't finish off the work. And Williams flies up the floor to Talbot, up against 2, and gets the M1. What a finish from Steph Talbot.
That's a great finish. With the body, took the contact and finishes, so now she's got the chance for that and 1, which will be great for Adelaide.
Good pressure here up the floor, and then Talbot just somehow finishing off that one against a strong-footed Froling. She's a very hard play to shoot over the top of Keely Froling, but so too is Steph Talbot. Coming off 18 points and 11 rebounds, 4 assists and 6 steals against Bendigo as well. Can't nail the M1. Here's Ortlip. Smith to Shook for a long 2. Purcell with another rebound. Heel goes one way than the other, and travel. So good pressure from the Lightning. They're getting back into this game after a not so great start. Now just trailing by 2.
Yeah, and good defence there by Taylor Ortlip, because you've got to stop Shyla from getting easy shots because her eye's in, and once her eye's in, she's very difficult to stop scoring.
Smith got the foul. Of course, she just got herself a training contract with the Indiana FIBA this week, Alana Smith. It's great to see.
I like that Adelaide are now looking to go inside, because the outside shot's not working at the beginning of the game. It'll come, but they're going inside and they're making the use of their height that they have in there.
Certainly a lot taller of a team than Sydney. They're only really 2 bigs of Froling and Purcell. And Rowe's got a decent bit of height, but certainly not as much as Smith and Talbot and Shook. Hill looks to run a play here for the Flames. Can't find Froling, so key turnover there. Adelaide could take the lead here with this play. Talbot to Shook. Back to Talbot. Now Ortlip can pull up for another 3 and gets that one to fall. Looks like Taylor Ortlip's in for a big night. Hill will try to get herself a big night as well. Whistle blown. Sydney ball. Foul called. Adelaide back in the lead, 11 points to 9. Hills Basketball Stadium hosting WNBL action tonight. Of course, we just had hoops in Tassie, so a couple of new venues added to the WNBL radar, which is great to see. Purcell. Hill tried to get the bounce pass. Purcell somehow got it back. Rowe can't land it. Now the Lightning in quick transition. Sydney ball. See Sherry Kalia there. It's her home court tonight. Hills Hornets Junior. Great for her to be able to give back to her junior club too. Bowling with it. Hill. Back to her co-captain and nails it.
That'll be the key for Sydney. Just run an offense. They need to run the offense and make Adelaide play defense, and they get those mismatches or those easier shots.
Long 3 from Williams was no good. Scores level. Hill with it. Nakasoglu. Williams strong on the boards. To Smith. And 3 lands for Alana Smith. Adelaide break open a 3-point buffer. Heel wants an instant response, can't get it. Wortlip.
So Jamie's camera must be working a treat, is it?
Shook.
Jamie scored.
Williams, long 3 again, unsuccessful. Heel gets under Smith. Here's Froling for that long 2. Can't hit a second one. Smith, athletic grab, but just couldn't keep it in bounds. Adelaide 14, Sydney 11. A few subs enter the floor for both teams.
Well, both teams be quite fatigued because it is, as we've said, it's been quite high intensity up and back, because they both love their transition. Not too many fouls being called. And so you're just not getting that rest.
Heel. Crosses over Williams, and it's a great move because it ends in a 3. Shyla Heel's off to a cracker. Smith for a long 3 of her own. Bang! Back-to-back 3s. Let's see what Heel's got for us now. Gives it to Nakasoglu. Heel will get it back. Floater wasn't good, but she gets the foul. And the Sydney bench are up and about for that one. Hill with a beautiful step back. She's also coming off a big game against Melbourne. 21 points, 6 rebounds and 4 dimes. Leading the team in points per game, 16.7. She'll increase her average with that free throw. Second one pops in as well. Not long left in this first period. It's been transition basketball. And they finally get a stop. A chance to take a bit of a breather. Little on the floor here for Adelaide. Gets it to Brooke. Now Smith can pull up for another top of the perimeter 3, no good. Rolling. Get it back here. Spinning around 2 players and somehow getting the finish. That was tough from Keely Froling.
That's a great finish. You can't guard that when you're making shots like that. That's just good basketball.
Evans guarding Smith. This should be a good test for the youngster. There's a foul called. Good to see, though, Cara Evans getting some minutes. Just named in the under-20 New South Wales state team during the week, so good for her to get some WNBL in her legs.
It'll be a good matchup for her because Smith will want to take it at her. But I think if she can just hold her own and play solid defense, she'll frustrate Smith.
Williams with it for the Lightning, pulls up for a floater and gets that one to drop. That's just class and experience all in one. Sydney just looking for an option here. Heel eventually finds herself free with Froling. Got 4 to shoot. Blazewski just puts it up and gets it to fall. Now Adelaide in the hands of Williams. Puts one up, can't get back-to-back buckets. And Smith draws the foul. So now the fouls are starting to get called late in the quarter.
As they would, and the fatigue sets in, and you get a little lazy hand in, or you think you can get there, but you can't move your feet because you're tired. So, you know, they start to come up easy for the refs to call.
Well, with that foul, Lana Smith takes a seat. Hill pulls up for a long three. And that'll end the first quarter, and scores a level, 19 apiece. Sydney Uni have taken it up to the Lightning. We'll see what they can do in the second quarter on the other side of this.
To everyone who said we're not strong enough, not fast enough, wrong. We're crossover queens, scoring buckets, taking names and hitting no-look threes. We fight for every ball. And do we dunk? Hell yeah. When we roll onto the court with nothing to lose and everything to prove, you're in for a show. She got style, she got balls, she got belief, she got game.
Welcome back to Hills Basketball Stadium. Scores a level at quarter time. The Sydney Uni Flames on 19 points. So too the Adelaide Lightning. It's a good start for the Sydney Uni Flames, Alison Downing, considering they don't have much to play for, no finals on the line, but they're playing with a lot of tenacity and energy.
Yeah, they are, and I think that, you know, their defense is really good. They're stopping Adelaide from doing what they want to do. They're making them take those outside shots, which weren't working for them at the start of that quarter. Alana Smith started to make a couple, so did Taylor Ortlip as well. So, but they're pushing them out, and then they're running against them and making them play defense, and they're running good offense. So, you know, it's a great start for them.
And for Adelaide, what will Chris Lucas be saying to his troops? I mean, it was still a good start, but they probably want to be in the lead by this time.
Yeah, for them, I think, you know, they need to knuckle down a little bit on defense, but also not take that easy shot. I think they need to utilise their inside presence that they have and use those on-ball screens. That's sort of where Sydney's defence breaks down a little bit. So if they can utilise that, get some mismatches and go inside.
So a cracking second quarter coming up at Hills Basketball Stadium. Great to see WNBL come to a few different venues on your Saturday afternoon. We just had a cracking game in Tassie Bendigo, getting the job done over Southside. And it's a close battle here again at Hills Hornets Basketball Stadium. It's been a week of torrid weather in Sydney, hence the venue change to Hills, but the fans are still getting around their team. And why not when you've got a superstar opal in Charlotte Hill playing. Here's Evans starting for the second quarter, good to see. Back to Hill. Gets some space, but passes to Purcell. Long two is good. Purcell starting the second quarter how she started the first. Talbot to Shook. Great find. Can't get the finish, but Adelaide will get a second go at it.
And there's that inside game that they're going for. Shook probably just needs to take it towards the basket, not that fade away.
Here's Shook again. Getting it off to Whittle. Now Heel. Cross court to Jaeger. Evans. Back to Heel. Tough finish. How did she do that?
It's a good little screen too that just didn't let Talbot get to her.
Good find to Shook. That's a good settler for the Lightning. Here's Jaeger. Another new face starting on the in the second quarter. Evans. Looking for Jaeger, but pulled up herself. Couldn't get it to fall. Whittle, good transition to Talbot. Foul called. It'll be a Sydney ball. Adelaide ball, sorry.
It looks like the message has come from Chris Lucas to go inside. You know, they're running, they're looking, they're trying to seal deep on those transitions like that there, and you almost just have to foul, otherwise it's a layup.
Williams found Brooke and now finds Shook. Can't finish the two. Now Jaeger. Froling. Can't get the finish or the O board. Brooke defended really well there. Now Talbot for three. Never looked like missing.
She did it. It's like she knew that was going in before she caught it.
One of those Steph Curry turnarounds. I know that's going in. What can Sydney do to respond? Down by one. Heel draws a foul. So now the fouls are starting to creep in for both teams after a really even and open, fast-paced start.
Yeah, and I don't mind that foul from Whittle. Hill's looking to create, just trying to get past, and her three-point shot is what's been keeping her in the game, and so Whittle's just not letting her have that. If she gives away a foul, it's not too bad.
Hill's with it now, still trying to create, bounce past to Purcell. Tried the no-look, but luckily Sydney will get another go at it. So the Flames are right in this one, 1 point down. We're about midway through the second quarter. Nakasoglu drives to the basket. That's clever. Oh, and a really tough fall from Smith.
Oh, she's hurt herself.
She looks like she's clutching her ankle there. It was just a slip on the baseline when she was inbounding the ball. Have a look at it here. Just, oh. That's really hard to watch, Al.
Yeah, it is. And, you know, that's I think the reason why they weren't playing at Brydens was because of that humidity and the way that can affect the court and cause slippery patches, and it can be really hard to stop the floor from, it's almost sweats. So, you know, I hope that that's not the case here, but it looks like there's just a bit of a wet patch on the floor, and she's gone over quite heavy on that ankle.
She really took a heavy fall. Luckily, she's up on her feet now, walking to the bench, so that's a good sign. Not in the hands of trainers or being carried off or anything like that. Just walking off with Matthew Clark, the assistant. But it'll be interesting to see if she takes any further part in this one. Looks like she'll head to the rooms for a bit more of an in-depth check.
It's nice that they're getting the ball back too, and not saying technically it's out of bounds and it would be Sydney's ball. But yeah, it looks like there's a bit of condensation on the baseline.
Dew doesn't just exist in footy, does it, Al? I think it translates over to basketball, and you know that firsthand too.
It certainly does, and when it does, it's not fun to play on. So, you know, that might kick the confidence in Smith a little bit, you know, just being a little bit more careful, but you never like to fall and slip, particularly on, I guess, water that you can't see. So we'll see if that impacts the game and how the players play.
A bit of a delay as we clean that all up. And hopefully Alana Smith is okay and can come back into the game. She's had a good start, as always. Now Brooke and Williams will get a chance to combine here for Adelaide. Williams just wanted to delay some time. Strange tactic, but I like it. Here's Shook. She's got the smaller matchup, but somehow loses the ball. She's got another go at it. The hands by Blazewski. Talbot shook. Somehow gets that one to drop.
That's just strength there. You know, she's got two bodies pushing up against her and she can still make that shot.
The fourth point of the term. Heel. Try to bounce it into Purcell. It somehow comes up with it. Froling has to shoot. Can't get it to drop. Good D by Adelaide to let the shot clock run down. Couldn't get it to Shook on transition.
It is good D by Adelaide because they seem to like to switch, which makes those mismatches. And you have Kylie Shook on Heel, and Heel wanted to take it at her, but Shook's just got that reach, and they all helped in. So, you know, it's good team defense knowing that that mismatch was there.
Whittle, good floater. Good set play from the Lightning as well. That was lightning quick, it must be said. Whittle just straight into position. Nakasoglu just didn't know where she was. Give her an easy bucket. It's Adelaide 28, Sydney 25, timeout taken. And although Adelaide have the upper hand for now, the Flames have really been keeping in this one, Al Downey.
Yeah, they have, and that's all they need to do. They need to stay with it, and then you put the scoreboard pressure on, and then, as we've said before, Adelaide have, you know, that top two to play for that they really want to get. Sydney, yes, they're looking for a second win, but at the same time, there's no pressure on them. You know, they're playing a top four team. They're probably looking now to blood their young'uns and try some different things that they have the confidence to do. So, you know, if they can stay within a couple of points throughout the game, it can put more pressure on Adelaide, and we'll see how it goes, because that's when those teams can knock off your top teams.
Good to see Alana Smith standing on her 2 feet in that huddle. Hopefully she's coming back on the court soon after that big slip on the baseline. She seems in good spirits. So too are the Flames. The music's pumping, the fans are out and about. Despite the conditions in Sydney at the moment, of course, we're hoping everyone there is keeping safe in the wild weather. Flames will get a chance to take back the lead now through Heel, who, as Al mentioned, has been having a good 3-point game. Drives hard to the basket this time. Feeds it back out to Nakasoglu. Can't quite nail it. And bodies fly everywhere, and somehow the ball ends up back with the Flames. Good desperation. I actually thought Nakasoglu might nail that one. She's known to land a big-time three. It's one of her rare misses. I know she had a two-game streak of going 100% from the field, so she's certainly capable of knocking down those big shots. Froling at the top of the perimeter. Heel. Now Nakasoglu with it. Dumps it to Purcell. Krzyzewski pulls up for a long 2. And Ortler brings it down. And quite a second term, considering a back-to-back threes in the first term. And Nakasoglu takes a dive. That floor really is wreaking havoc tonight. I think she got an elbow to the face as well. It's all happening for her. She looks in a great deal of pain. Let's see what happened here. Talbot, I think it was just an elbow to the face, Al.
Yeah, perhaps. But she's sort of at that, what's the word I'm looking for? She's just at that height where she's at the height of Talbot's elbow. So, you know,
accidental.
you can see that there was no malice in it, but she just happens to be where the elbow was. So it's never pleasant when you get knocked there. So hopefully she's all right.
She looks in a great deal of pain.
Looks like she's split her lip, maybe.
Yeah, see the blood flowing out. Yeah. See good sportsmanship from Purcell, just holding her hand and helping her through it. You never want to see a player going down. And from an accidental incident like that as well. How hard must Steph Talbot's elbow be, though, to split a lip?
Elbows can be pointy. I've had a few elbows in the schnoz and the lips in my day when you're undersized and you play slightly taller players. But it could have dazed her a little bit, you know.
And she's got the wheelchair out as well. She really just got a bit of wind as well, probably.
Perhaps. And it'd be interesting if she was wearing a mouth guard too, because that's always going to make things a little worse if she doesn't have that protection. But then you've also got to worry about concussions these days as well.
Great to see them clapping off Funda Nakasoglu. It's never a good thing to see players go down like that. We hope she's okay, and our thoughts are with her. She gets wheeled off the court. So that's two sort of injuries. I think Smith's back on, but either way, it's a bit worrying at the moment. And it's interesting as well, how do the teams react to this stoppage? Who gets the favoured momentum here? Adelaide have scored the last 3 baskets, so perhaps a chance for Sydney to reassess here.
Well, that's it. You know, both teams have now split into their 2 5s and they're having a chat, but it'll be who can sort of settle the most and what the message is from each team. It'll be interesting to see whose ball it is as well.
Looks like Alana Smith's going to inbound it. She's testing out that ankle, doesn't want to slip at this end too.
So potentially it was a foul on Sydney there, which is unfortunate for them, considering the outcome that there was. But
the Wipers have had a lot to do tonight, a lot of dew out there, a lot of humidity, all those conditions affecting play tonight. It's an indoor sport, but basketball still feels these conditions. And with 5:49 left to play, Adelaide will inbound this one. Get things going again in this second period. Talbot wanted it, got shoved out of the way, so it ends up with Ortlip. Back to Talbot. Smith somehow pulled it together, but not for long, because Sydney are on the transition now. Heel. Purcell trying to set a screen, but Adelaide got too many bodies, and Froling tries to nail a 3, couldn't get it to go. Bodies flying once again. Sam Simons on the floor, dishes to Brooke, out to Talbot. Now Smith, long 3, isn't good. And Froling pulls it down. Couple of passes, it lands with Heel. Now gets off to Blajeski for 3. Can't get that one to drop. Froling. Back to Heel. Drives hard at the basket. Gets it to drop.
That's just great touch there. You could see the spin on the ball as she threw it up there, and then it just kisses the glass and spun the right way, and in it went.
So Sydney back within 1. Ends a run of 3 Adelaide baskets. And a big block from Purcell sends Smith back to Adelaide with that one. And a charge call. So this game's got some ferocity now. Let's take a look at this from Purcell. Bang. Smith felt every bit of that. And then Ortlip felt every bit of that charge to follow.
That's right. Both teams are right in it and up and about. And I think, you know, a few little injuries, it gets you going, and it gets a bit of a fire in the belly to get going.
Margin just 1 point. Just over 4 minutes to play in the second period. As Rowe pulls up from 3 and nails it. Sydney back in the lead. Big 3 from Kira Rowe. Gets herself into the game with her first points. Talbot looking to respond. 7 to shoot here for the Lightning. Smith's got to be quick. And that is so classy and so tough. Scores a level. Heel. Froling on the dribble. Spins around and gets the finger roll to go. So both sides trading buckets now. Ortler with the long three. Couldn't pull down the board, ended up stealing them from her teammate, which means Sydney are on the run here through Jaeger. Just has to stop for the moment. Misdirected pass, gets back to Adelaide, and now Talbot can come in for an easy lay, but can't finish it. Very unlike Steph Talbot.
She'll be annoyed with herself there. She had great hands to get the deflection, and then what she would consider an easy layup and just couldn't quite finish.
They're feeling it, the Lightning. They're down by 2. Froling, Heel, wanted to pull up, but couldn't get that one to go. So Smith can resettle. Foul called. A bit too much shuffling there from Froling. Those floor wipers had a lot of work to do, like I mentioned. I hope their shoulders are going to be okay after tonight. That's a tough job, the floor wiping. Not many people realise it.
No, and they've been very busy tonight. There's been lots of bodies on the floor, and then obviously the humid conditions have not helped their cause tonight.
So that leads to a timeout. And I guess the message will be quite different for both teams. I mean, just over 2.5 minutes to go. I mean, I think Shane Hill would love a halftime lead.
Well, who wouldn't, you know? Like, if they were to say that they'd be 2 points up with 2.5 minutes to go against Adelaide in the second quarter, I think they'd take that any day. So, you know, and you can see that the team is playing with that confidence of they've got nothing to lose. The girls are coming off the bench. You know, Rose steps in, shoots a 3, makes it, because that, I guess the pressure that you feel where you go, I must do well and I must do this, and you know, I've got to make every shot. It falls away when you're not vying for finals, and you know you can just play the game that you love.
And then possibly a player down as well, with Nakasoglu getting a big elbow to the lip, it looked like. A bit of blood coming out in that incident. And consequently in a wheelchair off into the rooms. Haven't seen her resurface yet. We do hope she's okay. Keep you posted on that as Williams inbounds here for Adelaide. Talbot wanting to make amends for that missed open layup. Williams with it now. Shook. Adelaide ball. Bit of stop-start basketball to end this first half. Hill just tried to be a bit too aggressive on that mismatch. And good hands again by the Flames. They're not letting Adelaide get any easy baskets. That's exactly what you talked about pre-game, Eldan. You're just not letting them get those easy looks.
Yeah, they've scouted them well, and they know what they like to do, and they're doing a really good job at pushing them out of it.
Out of bounds, so Sydney get a stop. Let's see if they can extend their lead with just under 2.5 minutes to play in the first half. Heel. Matching up on Williams. We'll get it back here. Froling comes in, but gets blocked by Whittle. There's been some good defensive plays in this one.
That's good help defense there. Whittle committed quite early, but she could see that Talbot was there to help her if the ball got kicked out for the outside shot. So she had the confidence to commit, knowing that Froling, that's what she wants to do, is get to the basket.
Heel drives in. Floater wasn't good, but she got her own O-ball. We call that a pass. Jaeger can't get that 3 to go. Talbot. Good dish out to Shook. And she never looked like missing that one. Shook's got 6 points in the second quarter alone. Sydney bench are up and about. They know what a halftime lead would mean for this team, and Blazewski pulls up. Adelaide want to break the deadlock here. Smith crosses over Blazewski, but couldn't get past the second one, but eventually got it to Shook. Adelaide take back the lead.
That's smart by Smith there. She could have tried to force that up, try and force a foul, but then Shook's wide open, so little pass underneath him there for her.
Hill looking to make a move, steps back. Can't nail it. Just look here, smart move from Smith. Like I said, it was kind of a little tunnel ball pass, but whatever works, right?
That's it.
Talbot to Shook. Shook will get it back here. Foul called, are they counting it? They will.
It's another smart play. You know, the mismatch is there. Shook on heel. The commitment comes from split line, but it was just a touch too late.
She's just so tall, Kylie Shook. I mean, she's towering over the rest of the court, standing at 196 centimetres, which is massive in basketball terms.
Yeah, it is. And, you know, she's the tallest on the court, even when Sydney are matched up properly on her.
How does she stack up against you, Al? What's your height these days?
What did you say she was?
196. And what are you?
182, so 14 centimetres.
Yeah, right.
Half a ruler.
Do pretty well in the ruck for Collingwood, I reckon. You two in tandem, if she wants to give it a try.
Yeah, as long as she's on my team, I think that's all right.
So 30 seconds to go. Timeout called. Adelaide up 37-32. Flames have kind of dropped off a bit after levelling the scores. So what's Shane Heal saying now to his troops to get one last good play in before half-time?
Yeah, look, and he might change up the defence here. He might go to a zone or, you know, just something, a little bit of a different look. And then he'll be looking to say, run the transition if you can, because that's their game. But if not, run an offense, and he'll probably draw something up to get going if they can get a shot in here. Conversely, you can see, you know, it's probably a little bit of that experience that Adelaide have where they've settled a little bit and they're going inside, they're looking for those mismatches, and they're particularly with Shook, and she's making those shots and getting the fouls, so she's going to the line as well.
So Shook with a lot of points this quarter, so three there, adding to the 6 makes it 9 points in the quarter for her. She's had a big impact, and her height's really paying dividends. Sydney are a small team, it's been said throughout the year. Let's hope they can show some fight. They have been showing some great fight throughout this game. And they put Emma Mahardy on the floor as well, and some extra grit to end this first half. Rolling up against Shook. Gives it off to Heel. Nice kiss off the glass once again. The shot just looks so gentle, if that's a good word for it.
She's got some great touch, you know. She's airballed a couple trying to do those little teardrops, but when her touch is on, it's almost a shot going in every time.
See it here, just crosses over Williams, and then doesn't even look like she's raising her arm, just somehow floats in. Got a chance to end it on a high here through Mahardy. Can't level the scores, but either way, a good first half for Sydney Uni Flames. I'll be happy with that. 34 points, 3 points, trailing by 3 points against the visiting team, the Adelaide Lightning, who are on 37. Big second term from Shook, finishing that one with 9 points. And the Lightning will go into halftime with a bit of thinking to do, probably more than they would have liked, considering the Flames' fight.
Yeah, it's quite a different beginning to the game than what they had against Bendigo. 30-0 was what they had last time, and they're not struggling for baskets, but they are having to work hard, which is great by Sydney. They could just, as we've said, they're vying for a second win. They could sort of just go there and not play much defense and not have much grit, but they're at them and they've scouted them well and they've stopped them from doing what they want to do.
So taking a look at the highlights, I mean, there's been some really impressive moves from both sides as well in tough conditions, Elle.
Yeah, and it's been fun to watch. Both teams have had to work hard at times, but they've run some good offense. They've kicked the ball around. They've got it through hands. Players are playing what they do well. So you've got like Purcell. You know that she loves a nice little sort of 12, 15 footer. She gets herself in those positions, and her teammates are finding her. So it's nice to see.
And conversely, for Adelaide as well, Smith and Talbot obviously having influence, but Kylie Shook's been the one so far that's been really stamping her authority on this one.
Yeah, and again, that's probably that experience that Adelaide have, is that they know they've got that mismatch. As you said, she's towering over everyone. So why wouldn't you go in there? And she's making her shot, she's making her layup, she's getting fouled, she's getting those and ones, and she made a big impact in that second quarter.
Let's see what she can produce in the second half for Adelaide. They're up by 3 against the Sydney Uni Flames at Hills Basketball Stadium. Don't go anywhere, second half coming up.
To everyone who said we're not strong enough, not fast enough, wrong. We're crossover queens, scoring buckets, taking names and hitting no-look threes. We fight for every ball. And do we dunk? Hell yeah. When we roll onto the court with nothing to lose and everything to prove, you're in for a show. She got style, she got balls, she got belief, she got game.
Welcome back to the studio here. It's Adelaide leading Sydney Uni Flames 37 points to 34 at the halftime break. Julian Montesano and Alison Downey with you. Let's talk individual performances. I mean, there's been some good performances from both sides, but we used to talk about Smith and Talbot, but tonight we really like the game of Kylie Shook. Talk us through, how she's been going for the Lightning so far in the first half.
Yeah, well, as we've said, her height is the key factor here, and they're looking inside for her. The start of that first quarter, they were sort of living and dying by the three-point line, and now they've started to go inside, utilise that mismatch in there, utilise when they're setting good screens and they're making the switches happen, and they're really finding Shook. And then again, she can step out to that 15 feet and make that shot comfortably. So she's hard to guard, and she's playing well.
So Shook, of course, having a great game for the Lightning. 9 points load in that second term, but equally, Charlotte Heels had a fantastic game for the Sydney Uni Flames, and that's what we've come to expect from her week in, week out. She just shows up and performs, and she's been having a great game for the Flames so far, Al.
Yeah, she started well, and when a shooter's on, it's hard to stop them. So Adelaide have tried to get hands to it, but Shiloh's got it all. She's got the three, she's got the step back, she's got the drive. As we said before, she's got great touch on those sort of teardrop shots. So she's another one that's really difficult to guard, and they've had to overcommit and help to try and stop her.
She's always showing up for the Flames, isn't she? Week in, week out. You know she's going to be leading the stats. She's coming off a 21-point game against the Melbourne Boomers, and she showed some classy moves as well. I mean, look at that, just chucking it over the head and somehow getting that to fall. And then you see, I think up here was the nice kiss off the glass we've been talking about. She just has that real finesse and that real tenacity about her as well. But the place where Adelaide's been succeeding this game is the three-point line. I mean, Taylor Ortler began the game with a bang, but they've really been able to utilise their long shots and really get this game on their terms at half-time.
Yeah, and again, to be able to use that inside-outside, so they're making the defence, it's almost like a concertina. It goes in, then it has to come out, and they're dragging them out and passing it around. That's what Adelaide do well, is that they make that extra pass, which is the open shot.
They've certainly been dominating from the three-point line, and it's been a mix of players as well. It's not just the usual Smith and Talbots. We saw Ortlip knock down back-to-back threes as well. So it's great to see them share the load at the Lightning. They're definitely going to need it if they're going to come up against the red-hot Sydney Uni Flames as well. But we do talk about the Adelaide key players, and that is Alana Smith and Steph Talbot. Take a look at these combined stats after their Opals return. So 37 points, 4 assists and 18 rebounds since Serbia for Alana Smith. And then for Talbot, 20 points, 12 assists and 22 rebounds. It's a triple-double from the couple of games that she's been back. But Al, I'm wondering, how important are they to this team and their success going forward?
Well, you can see how important they are, particularly Talbot. She's got that all-round game. She's scoring. She's probably not scoring as much as what she has in the past, but then her assists are up. You know, she's got the assists. She works hard on the rebounds, but also her defense. You know, those little 1%ers that she gets back. She gets the deflections, which makes a huge difference, and it creates that transition that Adelaide like to play. And Smith, she's just hard to guard, and she works hard, and she's tall and long and lanky, and she gets those rebounds, but around the rim, you know, she's got some good moves. So they are pivotal for this team to essentially go all the way. It's a matter of how do you stop them, but then again, they've got such a great team that they step up when they need to. So Whittle can come in and make the shots. We've already talked about Shook. Brooke has shown that she's got the capabilities of scoring 10 to 12 points quite easily. So when they're needed, they step up. So, you know, they're in a good position to go all the way.
Well, we know how selfless Steph Talbot is. She's never going to blow her own trumpet. And she spoke at the end of the Southside game about the squad mentality heading into the rest of the season. Let's see what she had to say.
Yeah, it's definitely been crazy. Bit of jet lag, we're super tired, trying to switch from one system back to the other system. But they're a good group of girls, so they make it pretty easy. And we play a fun style of basketball. Yeah, I mean, I played for Chris for 3 years now, I think, and that's just his style of play. He likes to play fast, he likes to push the ball, and he likes to make the extra pass, and we play a real team style, and it's fun to be around. Yeah, I think we've got all the pieces, and we've got, 8 games left now to really make a run at maybe hopefully finish top 2 and then have a good crack at the championship, but we've got a long way to go until then.
So top 2 firmly on the Adelaide Lightning and Steph Talbot's mind. And they look like they're a good chance to get it. And that's because, you know, we talk about the Talbot and the Smith, and we talk about Kylie Shook tonight. But it's not just tonight where her impact's been felt. I think it's across the season. She kind of just flies under the radar of those two, doesn't she? I mean, how good has her season been? Yeah, she does. And that's the thing. We talk about Alana Smith, we talk about Talbot and the impact that they do. And we talk about that week in, week out. But Kylie Shook, as we've said, she's got the height. She just plays a role really well. But what I love, she sort of shows no emotion, but you can tell she's got that intent to do well, but nothing really phases her. So she'll miss a few shots. You can see even today against Sydney, she's helping the opposition up off the floor if they're down on the ground. So she's, you know, nothing phases her, and she just plays her game, and she plays it well, and she knows her role, and she does what they need. Exactly right. And Kylie Shook as well, coming off a season with the New York Liberty. She was number 13 in the 2020 draft, so she knows how to play a bit of basketball, Al Downey. But Sydney, they're having a bit of struggles at the moment, and I think there's probably 2 key players they're relying on a bit too much in Keely Froling and Shyla Hill. I mean, do you agree that they probably rely on those 2 a bit too much? Yeah, they probably do. And again, it's a bit of an experience thing. They would be 2 of their more experienced players.
you know, I dare say offences would run around them, but you can see tonight that other players have stepped up, and maybe it's just taken a little bit longer for them to find their role, know their role, and have that trust that they'll get to those spots and the ball will come back out to them. So potentially there is that over-reliance, but with a young team, that confidence, it can take some time just to get the confidence to go, you know, actually I am good enough to be here and I can make that shot when I get the ball.
And we'll take a look at these stats that Sydney have. Obviously, dire stats to look at. 8th in the league for points per game, rebounds per game and assists, and 7th for rebounds. I mean, where can they improve, Al? I mean, how do they improve these stats?
Yeah, it's interesting. I would have thought their rebounds would have been a bit higher because they do have good ball getters, and you know, Frolling's great at crashing the offensive boards and the defensive boards. And again, it probably just comes down to experience, but also the way that they play their game. You know, they look for that transition type of game, so they probably don't get, if they're not running a lot of offense, they don't get those second chance points, and they don't get that opportunity for assists and all those sort of things. So, you know, it'll come, and even tonight you can see how well they're playing against the top 4 team. Yeah,
down by just 3 points against the Adelaide Lightning, currently sitting in that top 4, and obviously we turn our attention back to this game. So what's Shane Heal's, I suppose, immediate message for the second half about how they keep with the Lightning and perhaps take that lead back as well?
Well, I think his message will be similar to what it was in the first half, to play the way they've been playing. I dare say they'll be more wary of that inside game and whether they double team that, whether they overcommit quickly, you know, as the ball's going in and try and disrupt it, which they've done quite well at times. They've got hands in, they've seen that it's about to go in there. So, you know, but if they are double teaming, they're going to need to be having that secondary rotation, which sometimes can fall away in those sort of defences. So, you know, you can't fault their first half. They've done really well.
You absolutely can't fault their first half. Just one win for the season for the Sydney Uni Flames. Adelaide have had a lot more than that, a lot more experience on the floor for them tonight, but the Flames are taking it up to them. Let's see what this second half brings at Hills Basketball Stadium. It's with Kiana Williams to start things off. Gets it off to Shook. He's had a great game so far. Into Talbot. Can't make the tough 2. Now Mahadi brings it up the floor. Good to see her getting a start in this third quarter. Hill crossing over Williams. It's been a fun matchup between those two. Just shoves her out of the way. Now Froling. Mahadi pulls up. No good. Get a second go at it, this time from 3. It's also no good. So Adelaide can come up with it. So stoppage here in the game.
And you can see there, all 3 Sydney players went to Smith because they're inside, and that's where Talbot wanted to go. And she didn't quite pick it up early enough to get it out to the 3-point shooters. But you can see that Sydney are aware of that inside presence.
It's that good scout you've been talking about throughout the game, Elle. They've done their research, the Sydney Uni Flames. Rowe ends up, call it a pass to Talbot. And a little Euro step, can't quite get the finish. You heard the wolves from the crowd, they love that move.
It's almost like the seas part there for her, and she just sort of, I mean, she was probably surprised at how open she actually was.
Purcell finds herself open. Can't close the door on that. Now Smith brings it up the floor. Williams for a long 3. Hasn't been working for her tonight. I think she's pulled up for about 3 or 4 of those, and none of them have gone in. Rowe dumps it to Froling down low, up against Whittle. Just pops it up, hoping for the foul. A good D by Whittle leads to a transition play for Adelaide. Smith gets it back out to Talbot. And Smith finds herself in space and finishes it off. Adelaide strike first blood in the third quarter. Mahadi guarded heavily by Whittle. She's been hustling on Di Marina Whittle. Expect nothing less from her. She's a superstar of the Lightning. Shook comes up with the hands against Froling. He's got a chance to get it back here, Shook, but they go to Talbot. Smith finds herself free again. It just bounced off her. The Tress was like a trampoline, just went boom back into half court. Heel tries to split the defense, and again, that slippery spot causes havoc. It's where we saw Fundanakasoglu go down in that second quarter too, Al.
Yeah, and Williams is a bit disappointed with the foul there because it looks like Heel sort of slipped, which... Oh, sorry, yeah. So it wasn't Williams that did it, but
So
she's
Talbot was
slipping as the hands are going in, so, you know, it's there, but...
It's tough going for both teams out there. Tough conditions to play in. And thank the public for coming out as well in these tough conditions. They would have probably driven through a few things, but look at them. They're out in force. They're happy to see some basketball. The Castle Hill faithful. Heel gets past Talbot, and now Froling puts that one in. Flames back within 3. Adelaide just work the perimeter for now. Looking for that next inside pass. They don't find it, so Smith pulls up, and why not? The three-point shooting continues for the Lightning. Bowling with it, now Heel. Foul's called. So just the bucket for the Flames in this third quarter. Played just about 3.5 minutes. And Smith has no issue finding the bottom of the net.
No, and it was just a bit of a hesitant closeout, but I think Sydney had the decision to make whether they go to the corner or Smith shoots it. Smith, tiny little pass fake, and then pulls up for a shot.
Rowe on the quick release. So Purcell. Heel gets it back. Adelaide are like jumping jacks out there. They're just getting right in the Sydney Uni Flames' face, and it pays off. Turnover, and they'll get the stop.
Yeah, it's great scramble defense there. Switches, switching back, switching again, realising there's a bit of a mismatch, and sort of that scramble run around and just put enough pressure on to cause that turnover.
Talbot giving it off to Brooke. Comes off the foot of Purcell.
What they need to be careful here is that they're not, because their focus is going inside, is that they don't stand on the outside, because it's so easy to defend if you're just standing still. But if they keep cutting and get the defense moving, the inside will open up even more.
Speaking of opening up, here's Williams and nails that 3. She gets one to go, Kiana Williams.
So she must have heard you and said, nah, it is my night.
It's usually the commentator's curse, but I've got to say, providing some advice never hurts. 45-36, Adelaide lead. Hill dumps it to Purcell. Whittle got some hands on it. And now Williams can perhaps get some back-to-back 3 action. Or Shook can do it. And why not? Kylie Shook's having a monster game. And she gets another 3 to fall for her Adelaide Lightning. And Shane Heel just says, I want to talk things through. Because the scores right now, 48-36 in way of the Lightning.
And this is what makes Kylie Shook really difficult to guard, is that she has that outside range. You know, and she's not afraid to shoot it. She's... you know, the games that we've watched all season, a trail 3 by a big centre, that it's not outside of her calibre. So, you know, you can drag them out, and then she's, for her height, she's got quite good agility to take them off the dribble.
You almost don't go out to those, you know, tall players shooting 3s, but you're going to need to try and get some hands in Kylie Shook's face.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, usually you would say, no, leave that. That's you know, it's not going to go in, but in Kylie Shook's case, it does.
Of course, she's a superstar from the WNBA. And she's making an impact here. They look to get back on the floor now with a handy 12-point lead. They're piled on the points. Sydney have just got the one bucket in the third quarter.
And this will be that point where, you know, they talk about not being complacent, which they might have been a little bit against Bendigo when you're 30 points up. You get 12 points up and, you know, you can sort of take your foot off the pedal a little bit and then let Sydney get themselves back in, or the other way, really put the foot down and almost break their backs and then make the score just a little bit too unattainable for them.
Falling gets shoved, ends up getting the ball back, spins around. Brooke can't get it to fall. Adelaide went on a 30-0 run against Bendigo in that one on Thursday night as Shook can't turn her around enough. And he will bring it down the floor. Froling wants it, misses her. Gets it off to Pizzy instead on for her first few minutes. It was a not great pass. Adelaide get the stop. Williams just kind of scooped that into her breadbasket, just fell out the last minute. Shots might not be falling for her, but she's providing hustle in other areas, which is great to see from Hannah Williams. Talbot can't nail a three. Now called. Once again, the defensive pressure from Adelaide is up top, and it's really elite.
Yeah, I think that's an unlucky foul on Williams there. She's just trying to fight through the screen. Didn't really impact. She got through well, and, you know, it didn't stop Heel from doing what she wanted to do.
Heel now. Couldn't find an option. Eventually, Blaszewski just gets away from three. Good balls by Pizzy. And I'll kick it back out again. Heel slips over, somehow gets a lollipop pass away to Pizzy. Couldn't finish off the good work. Rolling animated on the baseline. It's a sentiment of the Froling family, isn't it? They're all pretty animated. We love to see it. Of course, she holds the bragging rights at the moment. She's got the highest points in a game this season with 31. The brothers haven't quite gotten her level. Neither has Alicia. It's a fun household to be in, though.
I
Full
can
of
imagine.
basketball.
Yes, yes. I'm sure they're a little bit different off the court, but if they're as competitive as they are with their sibling games, it would be pretty intense household at times.
Shook and Williams are combining on the inbound, the two imports. Talbot doesn't need to kick it out because she can go all the way in herself. The play is free all over the three-point line, but she just took it all the way to the rim. Adelaide leading 50-36, just over 3.5 minutes to play. Talbot's just so classy with all her finishes. Pizzy. Heel. Screen comes, but she's still under pressure, and somehow gets the finger roll in. Williams, Shook. Now the pass comes to Whittle. Adelaide taking their time with it. Talbot fires a bullet pass to Shook. She'll go to the charity stripe. They kind of fool the defense there, Adelaide. Just a lot of slow movement, and then bang, Talbot just gets it into Shook.
Yeah, that, you know, high screens, and Brooke went to screen and then dove to the basket, which created a little bit of indecisiveness for the defence, and it opened up for Kylie Shook. And again, that height means that they kind of have to foul, otherwise it's an easy 2 points for her.
Gets her second free throw to go. Heel, bringing it up the floor. Comes off Talbot's foot. You hear how vocal is in the stadium. Both teams wanting this win badly, and here Froling drives heavy to the basket. Whittle flying down on the floor. It's been some real heart-stopping moments, Elle Downey.
Yeah, there have been, and you know, just both teams are so hard at it, and I like Adelaide haven't pulled away from their defence. They're up and in. There's stopping them from having any outside shots, but they're making it hard to get inside. You know, there's that call could have gone either way. I think when you watch it in replay, definitely a block, but you know, Whittle wasn't far off getting across to be a charge.
Rolling at the charity stripe for two. It's the first one to go. Coming off a 24-point game down at the State Basketball Centre. And gets that one to fall. Her first year in Sydney Flames colours, Keely Froling, and she's doing a mighty job of it. Williams found herself free, drove, floater, no good. Shook will come back out to Talbot. Finds Whittle free for her first three of the game and nails it. Marina Whittle, we've been talking about her defensive pressure, but we've forgotten about how good she is offensively.
That's right, and I think she made her first or second shot of the game, and she's another player. Once she gets her eye in, she's hard to stop, and she gets that confidence, and she's got a lovely shot. So, you know, she really steps up, and she can score heavily if she needs to.
She's got her eye in at the moment with this beautiful long three. She was calling for it, wanted that shot. Let's see if they run some plays for her now. They've got a 15-point lead. And that's why they're putting their youngsters on the floor. Taylor Brazel now getting some minutes here. 50% from the field for Sturt in the NBL 1 was Taylor Brazel. Talbot, another dump pass, and Brooke this time with the finish.
And there's those smarts that Talbot starts to come out with Talbot. Again, you know, she could force a shot and probably get a foul for it, but she sees that open player and gets it in.
Purcell wants to join in on the action and does. Lani Purcell, she's having a good game from three-point range. I think that's the third one she's nailed this game, one in each quarter. Speaking of good from the three-point line, Whittle just got one. This time handed it off to Talbot. Brooke provides the screen and can't provide the bucket. And Purcell had to work hard for those boards. Eventually dumped it to Heel. It's just over a minute to play. Puts up the floater. Purcell to go against three, and it's why Adelaide come up with it. Brazel pushing the tempo. Gets it off to Shook. Posting up on Rowe and gets the foul. She's so strong. Even Rowe's one of their tallest players, and Shook just barricaded her way through it.
That's right. She is so strong, and she almost creates the foul as well. You know, Rowe's standing there, hands up, has to keep the body on, otherwise it's far too easy for Shook, but she uses her body so well that the refs just have to call the foul.
So Rowe, one of Sydney's tallest players, she's 183, and as you mentioned, Shook 196. So still a huge differential in size there for both players. I think that's why they popped Kyra Evans onto the floor for that extra height, perhaps. Shook puts that second one in. Adelaide 59, Sydney 45. Under a minute to play now in the third quarter. Heel trying to break through the traffic, does so, leaves Rowe open. Couldn't finish. Now Adelaide look to run perhaps one last play if they can slow it down. Simon's on the floor. Gets it to Shook. Simons will get another crack at it. Ball just flew out of bounds. Good pressure from the Flames. Hasn't been their quarter, but good to see they're not giving up.
No, and it's good to see that that endeavour and that intent is still there. They're still running offence. Their shots just aren't dropping.
Just 9 points for the Flame in this quarter. Conversely, Adelaide with 22. They've really put the Jets on. Guessing the Chris Lucas message at halftime would have been pretty feisty. Purcell looking to push the tempo. We've got 10 seconds to make something of it here. The Flames and get into double digits for the quarter. Evans on the drive. Can't quite get the finish she was after, but Purcell, board. And no finish for her either. So Adelaide at 59, Sydney at 43 at the end of the third period. It's a 16-point buffer for the visitors, but don't go anywhere. We've got an entertaining fourth quarter coming up here on KO. Welcome back to Sydney, where it's the Adelaide Lightning 59, the Sydney Uni Flames are 43. Adelaide went on the 22-9 run in that third quarter to really break this one open after only leading by 3 at the half. Alison Downey, what was the key to that momentum for the Adelaide Lightning in that third quarter?
Well, I think the key there was that they were making their outside shots, so it doesn't give Sydney the confidence to double team inside. They're going to Shook, and it's working really well for them, but Sydney can't double team that, so they're either leaving Shook on her own, but if they do double team or if they do collapse, it's getting kicked out and they're making the three, so it doesn't give the confidence from the defense of Sydney to then be able to help with those undermanned on Shook, and then it opens it up for her, and she's had a great game.
She has had a fantastic game, Kylie Shook. We always talk about Steph Talbot and Alana Smith, and she's probably saying, hey, what about my name? So it's good that she's had another great game, because she has had a great season overall. We chatted about it at halftime, her impact this season. And she's displaying it in full force tonight. Off the floor for the moment, which gives the Flames perhaps a chance to get off to a good start in this fourth term. Purcell. Heel. We've got 7 to shoot now, the Flames. Heel. Can't get that one to drop. Ortler just loses the ball. Had no idea where that one went, which means the Flames come up with it again. And Heel with another chance. Kisses it off the glass once again. The signature Charlotte Heel shot.
No, that's just an effort there by Purcell. I think she gets her hand in on the ball as Ortler catches it and gets it back, and they get their 2 points, and it's a good start.
Here's Ortler to Simons. Across to Brooke. Good body work on Rowe. Leads to a nice finish by Chelsea Brooke. Playing for the Darwin Salties this off-season. How great of a team name is that?
Great name.
Heel, long twos, great. So here with back-to-back buckets to start off this one for the Flames. Keeping them in this one. 61-47 the scoreline. Of course, we know basketball's a funny game. The Flames are still in this one. Brooke gets it off Rowe's foot. We'll have another chance with it. Just pulls up for a half-court shot. The shot clock ticking down. Rowling comes onto the floor now in place of Cara Evans. Has been great to see these Sydney youngsters get some minutes. Hardy, Evans, and the likes of Pizzi as well also getting some minutes too.
Yeah, and that's what they need to, if they're going to build their list around the team that they have, they want to keep the players that they've got. So you've got to start playing them now so that they get that confidence to show that they are good enough to be in the league and that they can play at this level.
Froling pulls up from 3, can't get that one to drop. Purcell just slaps it back out to Heel, and she can pull up for a long 3 of her own and drain it. Charlotte Heel is setting this house on fire. She's got 9 points actually to start off this 4th term. Smith to Talbot. Gets around Purcell and tries to get the bounce pass away, but Jaeger read it well. Good to see another youngster with some good touch, and Heel can't quite bring the house down with that one. But she's keeping the Flames in touch here. 61-50, favour of Adelaide. Brazel on the floor. Gets it down to Smith. Badish now, good to see her on the floor and draining that signature 3. That's exactly Ella Badish's role.
And that's exactly what Adelaide needed, just to settle them a little bit, because they're a little bit frazzled with the start that Sydney's had.
Rolling. Gets it over to Jaeger. And now Heel, shot clock ticking down, so Froling's got to go and did well. Adelaide, just too many bodies in the paint. And the whistle comes here. I think that might be an Adelaide ball. Tech. Shane Heel was complaining about something. That's why I assumed it was an Adelaide ball. Now subs get injected into the game. See the star power on for Adelaide. They've got their starting 5 back on the floor. But good to see the likes of Badish and Whittle, and Braves will get some minutes too, as Smith heads to that line for that tech that we mentioned. Timeout called by the Flames. They're down by 14 at the moment. They're trying to get back to that halftime deficit of 3 points and perhaps get rid of that deficit overall and get a lead. But the Lightning are making it hard work, and it's thanks to that woman on screen, Alana Smith, having a great game despite that ankle scare as well. I mean, she's come back really well from that L down to slip and get really worried and get complacent. She's done really well.
Yeah, she has, and she sort of she had another little wobble on it, I think midway through that 2nd or 3rd quarter. So the confidence is back, and it doesn't look like it's bothering her anymore. So it's good to see, because you don't want to see any serious injuries. We haven't seen Funda again, though, have we?
We haven't seen her again. We do hope she's okay. But one person who is okay is Charlotte Heel. I mean, 7 points already for the 4th quarter. She's really keeping the Flames in it and keeping this game alive.
Yeah, she is. And that's, I think coming off that little offensive rebound that Purcell managed to get, that brought it back, gave Heel a second bite at the apple, as you say, and then she made the shot, she gets her touch, and then she's hit the rest of her shots, which is unfortunate for Adelaide, because I think that they wanted to run a little bit more of the bench and rest their starters, but they can't afford to do that because Sydney is still in this game.
Exactly right. It's a 14-point deficit for the Flames. They've got 6.5 minutes to rectify it. Here's Ortlip for Adelaide. Nice pass to Talbot down low. Can't get the finish. Smith takes another dive. Just mentioned that ankle slip she had before. Froling on the drive against Smith. Threads the needle. Can't get the finish. And the ball ends up with Williams. Wants to slow things down. Or not. The bullet pass to Shook is fantastic. Again, Adelaide fool the defense. They've done that a few times. They just slow things up and then bang, head down to an open player.
Yeah, and look, we couldn't see if there was any sort of breakdown on defense there, but like that's again smart by Williams. She wants to slow it down because time is their friend, but if you've got a wide open shot, you're always going to take it.
Froling contesting the foul there. Probably a bit hard done by both players attacking the ball. Froling passionate and pleading her case, of course. We love to see the animation from her. This team means a lot to her. She definitely wants to get them the win and get the team smiling. They've done it really hard this season, but they've had some really good moments and close games. They just haven't been able to get on top.
Yeah, and it is, like, it's hard when you're not winning, because winning is fun. But if you can find those little pieces of joy and when you play well together, that'll go a long way into their next season.
Talbot making the moves on Rowe. And Heel, can she continue her fourth quarter success? Gets the screen, doesn't want to go for the three, gives it off to Purcell, baseline drive, feed to Froling, fantastic. The Flames need a lot more of that.
They do, and it's a nice little no-look pass, fooled the defence, and a nice little finish by Froling.
And Froling, getting really worked up. She's conceded another foul. Let's see there, just a bit too aggressive on Smith. There's a bit of frustration coming into her game. It's a disappointing third quarter, outscored 22-9. And Adelaide keep on keeping on. Can't quite get the finish, and Jaeger comes up with the strong boards. Rolling, dribbled straight into Smith, and they get the stop. So Keely Froling's having a tough time of it on the floor.
And that's that matchup, Smith loves a little tussle too, and they both like to tell the referees what's going on the court. So they're both going to be at it, and it can mean that you make some poor decisions at times.
Sure, hasn't made many poor decisions tonight. Gives it off to Talbot. Good D again by Purcell. The pass eventually comes, but Ortlip couldn't get the circle shot to fall. Here's Froling, up against Shook this time. Gives it off to Heel. And now Rowe drives in, hard and fast, but not finished. Williams bringing it down the floor for the Lightning. She's had moments in this game. Gives it off to Talbot this time. Up against Rowe. Can't finish. Good D by Kira Rowe. And it's a Sydney ball as a consequence. Keely Froling would take this one. And we'll have some subs injected into this one. 3 minutes 43 to play. Adelaide 66, Sydney Uni 52. Sydney trying to not only win this quarter, but win this game. Jaeger can make it easy, but misses the three. We're in the bonus because Talbot looks like she might head to the line here. No look pass there from Heel to Jaeger. Just couldn't quite finish it off, and Purcell a bit too aggressive. So It will just be an inbound for Adelaide, not quite at the bonus stage of fouls yet. And we'll have some subs enter the floor. See what both coaches come up with here. 3 minutes 30 to go. It's a good time for the youngsters to get some energy in their legs. Whittle's on. Talbot. Gets it over to Whittle. He's already made 1-3. Smith to Shook. Nice outlet pass to Williams and makes that go to the bottom of the net. Heel hustling hard. Evans finds herself some space and charges in. So I think it was Alana Smith down the bottom of the paint. Great D. She flexes her muscles as well. Strong move by Alana Smith, and she has a bit to say about it, Aldani. I'm liking her swagger tonight.
Yeah, she does. She gets up and about when she takes a charge, and she's another animated player that you love to see, and the passion that she plays with, and it's fun to watch, and I like to see it when you sort of go head to head, because Froling is quite similar, so it's good to see that little bit of passion and fire in the game.
She's back with it now, hands it off to Williams. Talbot finds herself free, but they'll kick it back out for now. Williams crossing over heel. Purcell came over the top and reckons she got all ball, but the foul's called.
Just a little bit of frustration setting in from Sydney, and they might be, it could be a stiff foul, but it is what it is. But when the scoreboard pressure's mounting and they're probably not getting the calls the other way, or that's the way they feel, so they're just, those frustrations are kicking in.
So I guess the follow-up there is, how do they regroup from that? As 2.5 minutes to play, they've really got to finish this one with a bit of energy.
Yeah, and I think a little bit of experience, but when they have that opportunity to get together and, even if a foul shot, get together, have a chat and sort of settle the mood and go, it is what it is, it's okay. We just need to focus on us.
Rolling. Off to Evans. And now heel. Trying to cross over Talbot. Evans up against Brooke now. Posts up, finds herself space and finds herself a finish. Great work by Kyra Evans, getting her first points of the night. Talbot looking for Williams. Smith came in for the cut, but it went back to Talbot. 3 wasn't good, so Froling can bring down the boards. Against her opposite 21 at the moment. Heel. Crossing over Smith, putting on all the moves, stepping in, and Smith just says, nah, not against me. They just can't break free from those Adelaide shackles.
No, but Smith's arms are just so long, they go for days. He'll think she's around her, and that arm comes out and gets a hand on the ball.
Wipers back out in force again. We've been giving a Wiper track tonight. Thank them for the work they're doing. Adelaide 71, Sydney Uni 54. Just over 90 seconds to play in this one. Flames have showed some fight, but the Lightning have come out too strong. See their big guns taking a rest now. Brazel pulls up from 3, no good. Sydney will get it back. Hopefully she can keep pulling up for those shots and get some confidence in her game, Taylor Brazel. Peggy Deeble on the floor now for the Flames. Her and Evans are COE teammates. They're trying to work in tandem, but they'll have to get out. Get it off to Rowe. Sydney get another chance. And this one on a high.
Now, this is good for both benches to be playing against. It's essentially bench against bench, but you know, to be able to run the offense, get that confidence, so that if they do have to play at any time, particularly Adelaide's bench throughout the final series, they've got that confidence and they know what they're doing.
Evans finds herself free. Great pass from Pizzi to get to her. And Cara Evans getting some points to her name. Back-to-back buckets for the youngster. Speaking of youngsters, here's Simons. Gets it off to Badish. Couldn't get that one to drop. 30 seconds to play here. Deeble with it. Oh, great pass. Evans just couldn't finish it off, but boards are good. Cara Evans has been showing a lot in these last few minutes. Outlet pass just misses. Brzeski, I think it was on the outside. Brazel looking to get the last shot here for the Lightning. Gets around her player now and gets all the way to the rack. Great way to finish the game.
Great drive.
And the siren does sound. Deeble fired off a half-court shot. But in the end, Adelaide too strong for the Sydney Uni Flames on the road. They get the win, 73-56, a 17-point margin in the end. And I mean, I want to say it was a flawless performance, but Adelaide did have their moments. But either way, they come up with an important win and stay in touch with that top two, El Downey.
Yeah, and look, it's a good win for them, and it's probably good to have a bit of a tough game. You know, they've only played Bendigo a few days ago. The fatigue sets in, and just to know that they can grind it away, have the confidence in their offense, and that the offense works to get those shots that they need to get the win. I think that the scoreboard doesn't really reflect the game that we had, because Sydney's efforts were there the whole game. You know, they're just in that third quarter, they couldn't get their shots to drop. And it's just unlucky for them, because they were good shots and they were making them at the start of the game.
We're taking a look at the match highlights now from the game. It was all Adelaide in the second half, but we must remember at the end of the half, at half-time, it was just a 3-point margin. So you're right, the Flames were right in it. And these highlights will tell you they had some nice moments. Adelaide just showed their dominance throughout. It was all their big stars contributing. Talbot, Smith, Shook as well. And then you've got some contributions from their outside players like Whittle and Badish, and even Brazel was doing some nice things. So good sides to them heading into finals.
Yeah, and good confidence booster for most of their players, because they shot well tonight. I think probably Talbot struggled a little bit. She probably sometimes a little bit too open, and surprised herself at how open she is. It's the hardest shot to make, is when you're wide open and it's a layup. So, you know, but for the rest of the team, they've played really well and they shot well, and, you know, they played to their strengths.
Chris Lucas congratulating his troops, and why not? They come away with a big win on the road at Hills Basketball Stadium. It was a 73-56 win, 17 points the margin at the end of all that. Don't forget, tomorrow on KO Sports, it's the UC Capitals against the Melbourne Boomers. But for now, it's farewell from Julia Montesano, Alison Downey, and our production team here at the studio. It was the Lightning getting it done by 17 points at Hills Hornets. We'll see you tomorrow.